I get asked a lot of questions on the Discord server and in the comments on my videos. Most of the questions I get are coming from people who are absolute beginners with Monster Hunter. It's a healthy reminder that most people playing this game really are just getting started and are still trying to figure out the basics. And there's a lot of basics to learn with Monster Hunter Rise. So this video is for those of you who are new to the series or people who are just getting started with the bow as their weapon of choice, and even for some veterans who want to make sure they're getting the best performance out of their bow build. No matter what your background, you'll probably learn something new from this video. So the first and most important question I get asked is something along the lines of, I'm taking way too much damage, please help. Okay, that's not technically a question, but it's definitely a plea. The advice I'm about to give you on this topic is good for all players, not just bow users, but it's especially important for ranged weapons. And here it is. Upgrade your armor with armor spheres. Now this may sound obvious to some of you veterans, but it's something that new players overlook at the start of the game. And that's probably because they don't have a lot of armor spheres to start out. They don't know how to get the armor spheres, so they don't really give it much thought, and they put their focus on learning other aspects of the game. This is the single most important thing you need to do in order to reduce the amount of damage you take in the game, period. Now how do you get all the armor spheres? Use subquests to build up your armor sphere supply quickly. You are going to get hit and it's gonna hurt. As a ranged user, your defense is half that of melee users, even though the number is the same. Do not neglect this basic part of the game. Spheres are never an issue as long as you're always completing and refreshing one or two subquests each time you go out. Second topic, I get a lot of different questions about charge levels on the bow. So I'll sum up all the related advice right here. Use charge level 4. Build your set around it. Nearly all bows have a 4th charge level. A few will have only level 3. Either way, your best damage by far is going to be your highest charge level. In order for you to be effective with bow, you need to take as many shots at charge level 4 as you possibly can. In addition to that, you need to maximize your damage for the shot type that the charge level 4 has. You probably noticed that most bows have different shot types for the different charge levels. I want you to ignore the shot types on charge levels 1 through 3 and build your set around level 4. What that means is, if you want to play a pierce style bow, then find one that has pierce as the level 4 shot type and add pierce up 3 to your armor skills. It doesn't matter that level 1 through 3 are different shot types. Don't worry about that at all. Once you're doing well with bow techniques, most of your shots will be charge level 4, and you'll forget that the others even exist. Third bit of advice I want to give you based on the questions I get from new players: optimize your buddies. Early on, you're going to get hit a lot. We already covered that. At this point in the game, healing cats are nice. Use the healing cats. This will reduce the number of times you have to stop attacking just to regain health. They'll drop healing bugs that you can simply attack through and regain health. Once your health management is under control, you can switch over to an attack type or a support type cat. Topic number 3, stamina management issues. I get a ton of questions on stamina management. The biggest issue new bow players have is running out of stamina, or at least the illusion, the feeling, the sense that they're running out of stamina. And this is unfortunate because if they're actually running out of stamina early in the game, that means they're following the wrong advice right from the start. There's a myth in the Monster Hunter Rise community that in order to get the best DPS, you have to have a ton of constitution and stamina surge. And until you get that, you're kind of screwed. But that type of thinking, that belief, is just plain false. The facts don't support it at all. There's no reason whatsoever for a new bow player to be running out of stamina. Stamina management isn't something that you have to quote unquote earn or build up to over the progression of the game. You have everything you need at your disposal from day one. In fact, the same techniques that you can use day one to manage your stamina are the same techniques that I use in the final ultimate, this is really it endgame of Monster Hunter Rise. So what are those techniques? Here's how to do stamina management the right way, right from the start. First of all, use the pedal ace with the highest amount of stamina, and then collect the yellow birds. Get the green ones too while you're at it. You'll need the health as well. This should take no more than 2 minutes total, And most of that time will be time you'd spend running to the monster anyway. I have several videos with very efficient Spirit Bird routes, but it's not too difficult to figure out your own routes by using the in-game maps with overlays. Second stamina management advice: you can use Dash Juice to lower your stamina usage rate. Dash Juice is extremely easy to acquire in abundance. I used it a lot early on in the game, but as I refined my playstyle and stamina management techniques, even in the end game where the monsters are faster and more aggressive, I don't even need Dash Juice anymore. It is a good thing to have when you're getting started out. I have an entire video dedicated to the easiest ways to get Dash Juice. If you follow the tips in that video, you will have more Dash Juice than you will ever be able to use over the course of your entire play experience with this game. Third tip for stamina management: your playstyle choices matter. Avoid the myths of the meta here. I have an entire video on this too, but I'll summarize it here real quickly. First, use Power Volley whenever it is safe to do so. Power Volley is what the game calls the second power shot you do in your combo. Dodge, shoot, power shot, power volley. Your stamina recovers significantly during that power volley animation. So whenever you can, use it, and you will be able to chain your combo that much longer. Second playstyle choice: if you're using Dodge Bolt, use what I call Instant Dodge Bolt. This is where you start your combo by intercepting an incoming attack with a Dodge Bolt. You'll acquire 2 charge levels, and then you continue your combo. This is a popular technique of speedrunners, and it's one of the few things I suggest you copy from them. I go into this in greater detail in some of my other videos. And the third playstyle choice you can make to better manage your stamina: do not use Dodge Bolt to cover distance. If you're more than 1 dodge bolt away from being in critical distance, then simply run to the monster to get closer, or use Focus Shot to reposition and recover stamina in the process. Yeah, there's a ton of bow advice out there. That's why I have over half of my channel dedicated to bow advice. There's a couple more playstyle choices you can make to manage your stamina the right way, and that is to eat the Dango Fighter food skill. It's really nice. Eat for it and use it. And the last one I'll talk about right here: keep your Herculean draw topped off. So what I mean by that is whenever you have 2 wire bugs available, do a Herculean draw. It will boost your attack power. You will recover stamina while you do this move and increase your attack power at the same time. I have several videos discussing all these topics in greater detail, so go check those out after you're done with this one. The fourth piece of advice I have for people getting started with the bow, based on the questions you guys are asking me. I often get asked, what skills should I go for early on? Which armor skills should I get? And I'm going to keep this really simple for you, because this is another topic that I can spend 20 minutes on. So here they are without too much discussion. It's hard to get all these skills I'm going to talk about early on, so just build them in as you go along and keep improving your set as you progress through the game. Basic skills: shot type up. That's either pierce up, rapid up, or spread up, level 3, depending on your choice of bow. Bow charge plus for most bows in order to unlock charge level 4. Reload speed 2 for quick on-the-fly coding changes. Flinch free 1 for playing online. Weakness exploit, critical boost, attack up 4+ points. Bubbly dance, resuscitate, evade window. If you have extra level 1 decoration slots, fill them with stun resistance. Stun res is awesome. If you're fighting monsters who do poison attacks, I'm talking about you, Chameleos. Raytheon tail swipe. Pukey's annoying too. Poison resistance, get that up to level 3. It is amazing. You can also get any other little skills you think would be nice. Don't neglect those level 1 deco slots. There's some really cool stuff out there. Now, once you get to the point where your build has all these skills, then you can start to add more attack boosting skills. But I'm going to warn you right now, that's not going to happen until master rank. Yeah, all throughout low and high rank, you're very limited with the types of bow builds that you can make in terms of boosting your damage. So if your build looks like it sucks through low and high rank, don't worry. There's not a whole lot you can do about it anyway. I have a video that outlines the very best high rank build you can make, and it has Bubbly Dance, Resuscitate, Attack Boost, and Shot Type Up, and not much more than that. I think it's got reload speed too. So you can check out that video, but it's not going to get much better than that until you get some length of time into Master Rank, and you can really start to flesh out your build. Next topic for advice that I give to new players. I get a lot of questions about evade window. There's even some debate as to whether you need evade window or not. Some people think it's a crutch. Some people think, oh, just get good. Use the dodge bolt iframes. You should be able to dodge bolt anything, right? So my advice to new players is this. Don't listen to any of that nonsense. Evade window is not a crutch. Most definitely not a crutch. There are very few people in the world who have the timing necessary to counter every single attack with dodge bolt alone. It's probably 1 in 100,000 players that can do that. For the other 99,999 of us, evade window is a requirement. Even most of the speedrunners you see on YouTube can't dodge bolt that well. No, it's not always just a lucky run. A large number of them who aren't using evade window at all on their build during their run are using an iframe cheat. So don't set unrealistic expectations for yourself based on what you see someone else do in a video. Evade window is an amazing skill to have, especially as you get further along in the game. I have it on all my endgame bow builds. You don't have to force yourself to learn dodge bolt that well, because it's probably not going to happen. That's what I'm trying to get at here. Bubbly Dance, which you can get in high rank and maintain throughout master rank. When Bubbly Dance is active, it will actually give you 2 points of evade window, which is one of the reasons why I recommend that skill. And yes, my new endgame bow build has Bubbly Dance on it too. The next bit of advice I want to give to new players actually is about dodge bolt. Probably every new bow player who asks me questions, asks me about dodge bolt. How do I get good at dodge bolt? They'll say things like, I just can't get it to work. What am I doing wrong? Shouldn't I be able to dodge bolt through these attacks? And really what it comes down to is understanding how the dodge bolt actually works. Once you understand a couple basic things about it, your dodge bolt game is going to improve dramatically. So the easiest way for me to describe this is like this. You want to time your dodge bolt to attack the attack. Okay, so incoming attack, monster is attacking you. Time your dodge bolt so that your dodge bolt is attacking the monster's attack. This is how all counters work in Monster Hunter Rise, because that's exactly what a counter is in real life. You move at the same time your opponent is attacking, and you follow their attack with one of your own. So this is further illustrated by noticing that the iframes on dodge bolt are at the very beginning of the dodge bolt animation. Those initial iframes allow you to slip the oncoming attack, and the rest of the animation frames are your counter attack. So keep that in mind as you're practicing your dodge bolt. The iframes are right at the beginning. Think of it as attacking the monster's attack, and I guarantee you, your dodge bolts will improve greatly. One other thing I will say about dodge bolt, experiment with dodge bolting in different directions. Dodge bolting side to side seems pretty obvious, but don't be afraid to dodge bolt backwards, because a lot of monsters' attacks end right where you're standing. So dodge bolting backwards will pull you just out of range of the monster and attack them as they're coming in. For those attacks that are charging you, charging straight at you and going past you, don't be afraid to dodge bolt forwards. It's almost like you're passing right through the monster. It's pretty cool. Just be aware that some monsters have 2 hitboxes on their attack, like Tigrex's charge, for example. He can hit you with his arms and his back legs on the same charge. So in a situation like that, probably a sideways dodge bolt is going to be safer. All right, enough about dodge bolt. What about dodge bolt's counterpart, charging sidestep? This switch skill is very neglected in the bow community because dodge bolt's really flashy. It's really cool. Speedrunners love it. And it's just what the cool kids do. But charging sidestep is an excellent option for a longer range playstyle. I've seen some excellent runs using charging sidestep with rapid up shot type. It's rarely used with a spread shot type. And pierce bows stand the most to benefit from charging sidestep for 2 primary reasons. Number 1, it moves you further than a dodge bolt does, a lot further. This allows you to keep your distance from the monster and stay in critical range. It allows you to get back away from the monster very quickly as well during those times when he's all up in your face. The second important reason that it's nice for Pierce is because simply dodging with charging sidestep will raise your charge level by 1. Dodge bolt requires you to actually intercept the monster's attack in order to raise your charge level. And if you're playing Pierce at the proper distance, these opportunities will be much less frequent, if you get them at all. So a very active long-range playstyle using charging sidestep will make sure your charge level is maintaining the maximum. So all that said, charging sidestep will allow you to maintain your combo a lot longer. So what it's going to do is it's going to eat through your stamina a lot quicker. That's okay, as long as you're aiming well. Pair the charging sidestep with the focus shot switch skill, and you'll be able to maintain that stamina really well. Speaking of your combo, next bit of advice I have for new bow players is about your combo. Use your combo as much as you can, but don't use it inefficiently. A lot of people refer to this combo as the dash dance. I covered this in an earlier point, but it's so important that it bears repeating. Do not power shot combo just for the sake of doing it. You don't have to do it nonstop throughout the quest. If you're out of range of the monster or can't get the right angle on the monster, take the time to reposition without using dodge bolts to do so. There's an attack in the game that a lot of players don't even know about for the bow. It is the melee attack. And if you ask 100 different bow users, probably 80 of them couldn't tell you right off the top of their head what button to press to do the melee attack. That's how ignored this attack is. But the melee attack is very powerful, and you can make it very powerful too the higher you get into the game. In fact, I have a handful of videos on a melee bow build, various melee bow builds, and they're actually really powerful and really effective. But that's not what I want to talk about here. The melee attack is your single best attack early on in the game, and it's the answer to the question of, I just started playing bow, I'm in the very beginning of the game, why does my damage suck? The answer is, that's just the way the game is. And if you want to get higher damage early on in the game, use your melee attack. Most new players using the bow struggle to do enough damage in the early game. That is perfectly normal. That's what Capcom intended. Whether you like it or not, that's what they intended. That's the way it is. They want you to use your melee attack early on so that you will learn what it is and how to use it effectively, because it is a good tool to have. So just go along with the program. If you're determined to use bow in the early game, which is not an issue. I did not struggle with bow at all, and I rarely used the melee attack myself. I probably should have. My quests would have gone a little bit faster, but they were pretty good even without it. So if you want to use the bow early in the game, just go along with the program. Use the melee attack early on, get used to it, have fun with it, and get your bow upgraded a couple times, and then your shots will be doing a lot more damage. Last item on my list, we're nearing the end, and I saved probably the most important thing for last, and probably the most obvious. So obvious that people overlook this. And here it is. This one answers the question of, I'm not doing enough damage, or I can't seem to hit the monster well enough, or my numbers just aren't big enough. And this is a fundamental part of playing any ranged weapon in any game ever created of all time. And it's this: learn to aim. Yeah, you got to be able to hit the weak spot on the monster. You can just hit it wherever you want if you like, but your numbers are going to be a lot smaller. Every monster has at least one, sometimes two, really weak spots. And you can look up those weak spots in the hunter notes. They're not too difficult to find. And that's the spot you want to shoot. Often that spot is really, really small. Sometimes it's hidden, and you have to work the angles to actually get the right shot. So you need to learn how to aim so that you can hit that weak spot consistently. But what I really want to tell you is not just get good. That's not what I'm saying here. The game has a ton of settings to help you aim better and faster. Check your game options for camera control adjustments and aim control adjustments. Experiment with these options so that the game is working the way you want it to work. Probably the single best feature for aiming is one that Capcom put in for those quick 180 no scope type shots. And here's how it is. You can use the shoulder button targeting feature. So in order to activate this, you have to have a monster targeted. So you're going to press the right stick in. I think it's called R3 or something. And this will select which monster that you're targeting. You'll see the monster in the upper right corner of your screen. It'll have a target on it. So once you have a monster targeting, what you're going to do is tap the left shoulder button once to swing your camera around instantly to face that monster. Use this liberally. Instead of trying to swing side to side, left and right with your stick, just tap that left trigger. It will automatically line you up with a monster. You'll have to adjust the height a bit after your camera swings around, and you'll probably have to adjust left and right a little bit based on where the weak spot is. Because what this feature is going to do is it's going to target the center of the monster. And that's not always going to line up with your weak spot. But this will work wonders, especially for following up on monsters who attack through you or jump behind you. You can swing your camera around instantly and face the opposite direction. Do a little micro adjustment and you're back to hitting that weak spot while still maintaining your highest charge level. Yeah, you can do this right in the middle of your power shot combo. So there's my new player advice based on the questions that you guys are asking. I covered all of the most asked, most sought after topics that I see from new players on the Discord and in the comments. If you find any of this helpful, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button even, and leave a comment letting me know what parts of the video really helped you out. I'll see you guys in the next one.